you have a podcast called Unlearn Everything. I love it. It reminds me a little bit of Jason Fried Rework. I don't know if I had him on my podcast. I met him at an event, and his books are great. And he's really kind of reteaching a lot. So as kind of his smart brevity. And I think a lot of people right now are trying to unlearn things, right? We all have kind of these voices that aren't our voices. I was at one of my holistic doctors this morning, and he said a lot of times you share things that you're stressed about that don't even really belong to you, right? It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So what are three things, right? We're kind of moving a little away from business, a little to life, even though I think they morph. What are three things that people in their life need to unlearn to be more productive, effective, efficient, and fulfilled in their business? What's number one?
I think number one is my personal mantra. We always have a choice in how we respond to everything, literally everything. And we can't control. There are uncontrollable dynamics that we have literally zero control over, and we need to just let those go. They are going to do what they're going to do, and you have a choice in how you respond to them. Yeah. That would be my first one. I think the second one.
I'll say one thing before we go to number two. I'll say one thing. We have a choice, but we also, to get to that choice, I think we have to figure out how to get back to our own center so we can actually get to the point where we can actually make that choice and be conscious that we're in our own selves when we're making that choice, that the voice is coming from our gut and our heart, not necessarily our head of what our grandfather said or something, right? It's really kind of tuning in, I think. What's number two?
I like that addition. I think number two is developing self-awareness around the role you play in the world. And being very clear on the value that you add, and get over your imposter syndrome, get over the fact that everyone else is doing something. There's something unique about you. There's some quality or trait that you possess. I believe that everybody has some sort of a purpose, and it's our job to figure that out. And number three, be unique, man. That everyone else is taken. There's only one of you. And whatever that is, if that means you want to work in the corporate world, work in the corporate world, but find a pathway that is salient and resonant with you, and stop trying to be like everyone else, because there's everyone looks the same. We're all just a bunch of clones. So how do you figure out how to stand out and share your unique version of the world with the people that care about you most?
Yeah. Your perspective, your questions, your everything. And I agree with you. Understanding kind of that unique ability is so important for yourself. And sometimes it's hard to find. So you need, somebody like yourself, somebody like me to help bring it out. Not that it has to be you or me, but it's sometimes it's so hidden in plain sight and so obvious to everybody else, but not to you. So I think community, you want, reach out and talk to people if you can't figure it out.